Hey, hey!
Get down.
What is going on, mud smokers and movie lovers, and welcome back to another episode of 5 on It. I am Francisco.
And I'm Sir Frazier.
And on today's episode, the James Cameron experience continues. We are reviewing one of his best, if not the best. Today, we are talking about his other science fiction action film, another sequel as well. Today, we're talking Terminator 2, Judgment Day. But before we go any further into that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out. Hit us a like as well. Drop a comment below on some of your favorite James Cameron movies. Is Terminator 2 one of your favorites? Or maybe it's Aliens, one of our previous reviews. Or maybe it's True Lies, something else. Or maybe you're a fan of the Avatar films. Me personally, not so much. But anyways, before we go any further, Sir Frazier, tell the people what we're smoking on.
Man, I'm hitting my pen, man. I got this Gushers OG, and this is this company I've been smoking, buying stuff with for a while now. This Entourage Cannabis, man. Pretty good, though. What about you?
I am smoking on my Crystal Clear, smoking on that pink cookies, man.
The man's consistent.
Yeah, I mean, these cartridges are just, they always hit. There's never any, like, issues with them as far as, like, clogging up or anything like that. So, I don't know, like, I try, like, to dabble onto other companies and stuff like that, but when you have one you like, you tend to just stick with, you know, their flavors. Yeah. At least me personally, because I hate to, like, I've already had it happen once with, like, I think it's called Fat Panda, where their cartridge was already, like, clogging on me, and I haven't been back since.
Yeah, I hate when that happens, dude, because I'm tempted. I'll take that shit back. Like, yo, this was, especially if it happens early, like, as soon as, like, I've had that happen with one. It was annoying as hell.
I usually test it out in the car just to make sure before I get any further, because you don't want to get home and have your shit. You want to get home, pop the movie, got your food ready, and have your pen or anything not fucking up on you. So that's exactly what you don't want. But yeah, that happened once, and I just brought it back in. They tested it out. They knew it was faulty, and they gave me a new one. So it's not like a big deal, but you know, when you have one that works, you tend to stick to that company.
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. But yeah, man, diving into this movie. So this movie stars the legend Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You know what? Quickly before you get into the movie, I just popped in my head. We just reviewed Aliens, another James Cameron. We decided to double up. We did John Carpenter recently, and now we did James Cameron. But we also reviewed both of these, the originals as well.
Yeah, that's true.
We reviewed Alien and Aliens, and now we reviewed Terminator and now T2. That literally just popped in my head.
Oh yeah,
This pen over here, just ideas flowing. 4
great movies. But yeah, we got Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, Edward Furlong as John Connor, and Robert Patrick as the T1000. Man, this movie. So just a quick shout out, man. It at the box office. So this movie had a budget of upwards of $102 million, and it made $520 at the box office.
Oh yeah,
this is why he's the GOAT. The box office GOAT.
He's the box office GOAT. I don't know if I would still give him the GOAT title above my boy Steven Spielberg.
No, Steven Spielberg has more hits, but his peaks aren't. I don't know if they're as high.
I wonder what's his highest box office.
Stevens?
Spielberg.
Stevens?
It's Mr. Spielberg to you, man. All right, treat the man with some goddamn respect. But I want to say, maybe it's like a E.T. potentially, or
his highest. Nah.
Saving Private Ryan, maybe.
I could see that. I mean, that's a pretty beloved movie. Jurassic Park, maybe.
Also thinking about when you mentioned Robert Patrick as the T1000, because he is, I mean, there's so many highlights and very little lowlights of this movie, but Robert Patrick is one of the big highlights.
Oh, yeah.
And thinking of him as like a villain, you know, there's been some iconic movie villains, you know, in cinema. I mean, where would you necessarily, would he be in like your top 5, top 3 as far as like cinema villains? Because coming to mind, you have obviously like the ones from like Star Wars. You have the Darth Vader. You have a Thanos. But then you also have like
Hannibal
ones for
Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter, Hans Gruber. You have even old boy from Inglourious Bastards. Would the T1000 rank somewhere in your top 5, top 10, somewhere in there?
I feel like if I say the T1000, I would have to like slash T800 because the original Terminator also was like a legendary villain, and I think he actually
Just say Terminators, maybe.
Yeah, T1 or T1000 and T800. But I gotta say though, I think that Arnold brought a different level of menace to the Terminator compared to this one, and some of that was stylistically. It was shot with more of a noir horror vibe to it.
Yeah.
It was also shot in like blues, like dark blues, to give it kind of that metallic kind of coldness of the cyborg. And it was also shot at night, whereas this one, it does a little bit of a balance. You have the really warmer tones, especially like in the daylight shots and at the very end.
Yeah.
But you also have those really metallic blue lighting, especially with the airport, with the helicopter chase scene, as well as the hospital scene. So I mean, like, I think it does a little bit more of a balance. But I don't. Tell me what you think about this. Does this resonate for you? I think that Arnold as the original Terminator felt more menacing. Not more powerful, to be clear.
Yeah.
Not more powerful, but just physically, he seemed more menacing.
I was just thinking that when you were just speaking, I was like, if both of these people were coming at me, visually, I would think I would be more afraid of Arnold. Yeah, because obviously the 1000 is more powerful,
more lethal.
He's way more lethal. He's pretty much like unkillable until he gets to that hot molten lava at the end. But he's obviously way more formidable. But just as like a physical presence, and like you mentioned, like the first Terminator is shot more of in a horror aesthetic. So visually, he's gonna come off just way more menacing. But just even like his costume, his like obviously his size. Yeah, the 800 from the first film, I think I'd be a little more afraid. But once you start seeing what they're capable of, then of course the 1000 takes the cake because this dude is made of liquid. You can blow him up, freeze him. He
Form
comes back for
knives.
more. Yeah.
No,
And he can run his ass off. I heard like in filming, like Robert Patrick was hustling his ass when he was chasing Furlong on the bike. They told Furlong to like he has to punch it because he was kind of, I think, being a little nervous on the bike. Which I mean, granted, so he's a young dude, but Patrick was hauling ass. I heard in filming where I read about. That's insane.
Yeah, and speaking of Patrick, I think this movie. So I read that this was the first movie to use real life footage to computer generate the graphics, and like there's actual really cool footage of just the process. But they actually had him walking the streets in broad daylight with a grid painted over his body. He had like boxers on.
Yeah, I seen those.
and but like the method behind or the approach to that was this by tracking his body his body movements. The CGI team was better able to learn his cadence and be able to mimic them, and they used the laser scanners to basically facilitate that whole process of creating a CGI of the T1000 and seeing him like in the chair getting scanned for like holding his face for like seconds at a time. Yeah. As the machine was recording his expressions. It was a really cool process to just see, just behind the scenes and how they really brought this vision of Cameron's to reality,
Well, I'm obviously, and this is why the film still holds up to this day
incredibly well, bro. For me,
yeah. Honestly, the only things that because when he turns metallic and he's walking through the fire and stuff, or when he gets frozen and you see the liquid starts to form and everything, bro. Those scenes, because you can still see the reflections and stuff, another great detail. Yeah. That's when you're looking at, whatever they did in the visual department, they put their money well spent because the shit looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
but damn, I was gonna mention something. I don't know. Maybe it'll pop back in my head.
Well, dude, I was gonna say, man. I mean, going back to just how they were able to like craft this movie. I mean, they had $1 million stunt budget, and that was the highest at the time. This is in 1991.
Yeah.
He was building off of. I think there's an interview with Cameron where he's talking about the special effects that they used in The Abyss, which is a really good. I like that movie. It's not a movie I've seen in a long time, but really cool sci-fi movie.
It's actually a movie.
It's underwater.
I kept thinking that was like more of like a documentary.
No. It's a movie.
It's actually a movie. Okay.
Ed Harris is in it. What's his name? Bean.
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn. He's in it as well.
Oh man, he's another, I guess, a James Cameron guy.
Yeah.
Third movie he's in.
But like the special effects that they used in that movie served as like a proof of concept for what they would do in depicting the liquid metal, the T1000, because there's some really cool water sequences from The Abyss where that was computer generated, I believe. Yeah, it was. And the way that it moved, that literally you can see how he doubled down on that and refined it in this movie.
And then I guess he went from here to like Titanic, obviously, because he perfected into that.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of, just a quick little segue. I always get reminded of a Titanic. I think there was did you ever watch that TV show Smart Guy?
Oh yeah.
When the smart guy, he's on a date and like they're seeing Titanic and he's just like, hey, you want to know what the best thing about the movie is? You know, they weren't really on a boat in the water. Yeah, it was all computer animated. And the date's like, that kind of takes me out of it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but it's just like how like you watch that movie and it's just like it looks just amazing. It's like you can just see how James Cameron, how he progresses like in like his filmmaking and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. And I mean, just diving into this movie, I mean, I love the opening sequence where we see what the future looks like. I think it's 2029. And these machines, the machines are, at the behest of Skynet, are just, roaming this just war-devastated planet. And we cut from there to the present. This is like early 90s. And we see the T-800 arrive. And that whole sequence is badass.
Yeah,
dude. When he walks up in there, and we're seeing all. Yeah, we're seeing from his POV, scanning everything, assessing the bikes, their capability, all of these things, and then he goes into the place, butt ass naked, mind you.
Every chick, if you pay attention, like it's just
like
gives him
the up and down,
the up and down.
Yo,
you wonder like.
I mean, well,
because I was thinking, I'm like, when they film these, I mean, they're not butt naked when they film it, but like they like put like a little sock or something on. I'm like, Arnold probably is walking through the set like literally butt naked with a sock around his junk, and all the people on set are just like, oh shit, Arnold, goddamn.
And he walks up to like the dude who he identifies as a match for his clothing. And he's like basically like, give me your clothes. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. And he's like, you forgot to say please.
And honestly, once he like takes the cigar and like tries to put it out on his chest, and he literally doesn't make a move. Dude, you could see his whole expression just changes. Like, oh shit, I think I fucked up, bro. Dude, after that, I don't think I'm fucking with it. Not that saying not fucking with him, but then you just see that guy just literally just get thrown around and everything, just gets yeeted to the fucking
onto
kitchen,
the stovetop,
bro.
Like, oh,
that's when everybody else tries to jump on him and stuff. I'm like, bro, if I just saw like my buddy just got yeeted to the back of the fucking kitchen onto the stove and he
one-handed,
like I'll be like, you know what, bro, just give him the keys, man. He needs it more than you do.
My guy.
You don't want.
I got Geico. I'm good.
Like, just leave it alone, man. You're about to get fried up like a goddamn fish fry.
Peace, brother. And then, of course, when he walks out and they hit you with the bat to the bone, man. Such amazing character intro. And then we immediately pivot to the T1000. And goddamn it, he has the best luck. His first encounter is a cop.
I know, right?
He has technology at his fucking fingertips to search for John Connor in the system. Like, oh, how lucky can you get?
I know he doesn't have to go searching for it or nothing.
No.
But I mean,
At night under a bridge, no less.
Because like how Arnold gets there, how he gets his clothes, I mean, it does lend itself to that be a little more accuracy because he's scanning everybody, and even when they cut to his POV, that always looks great. But he's like searching everybody, and it's like, yeah, a bar would be a good setting to find a place of just a numerous sizes of people to find an outfit. So like with the 1000 getting there, and what is it? The officer, I guess, is just arriving to the scene of like strange noises or some shit.
Yeah,
which is like
the lightning. Yeah,
like officer's not gonna just arrive to like some weird, a lightning storm. I don't know.
It
about
is the
that.
LAPD.
Yeah. So the how he gets there and how he gets his outfit, it does lend itself to like the little the writing style, but
no, I mean it worked.
It's not gonna knock the score. It doesn't take you out of the story or anything like that.
But that's like a great intro to these. But I love that we don't really see the T1000's capability. I think until the chase scene, right?
It kind of just gets progressive too.
We get hints of it. We see he's metallic, liquid metal. Terminator, but I think one of the cool things is that right after we're introduced to them, we pivot to Sarah Connor, and we're seeing where she's at. She's in this fucking facility. People think she's whacked out of her mind.
Well, because of the story of she's telling, but what happened in the first movie.
Yep.
Nobody's believing of course, like her story sounds insane, but until you actually run into the issue, that's when it's too late at that point.
Well, there's also she's a really tragic character in this movie because there's been a conspiracy to conceal what happened at this in Terminator 1 at the facility.
Yeah.
The exoskeleton of the Terminator is destroyed except for the arm and the chip. Yeah. And those become a blueprint that they springboard their work off to develop this technology, which is a mind fuck. And is a straight mind fuck, bro. I mean, that's second to John Connor sending a Terminator and Reese back in time, sending his own father back in time to protect his mother and impregnate his mother.
Yeah. It's a mind fuck.
What?
Dude, and honestly too, I feel like that's why even how it goes from Terminator 1 to Terminator 2, it makes sense. Because the arm was left over, the bot was left over, all that makes sense. But then, that's why I feel like the sequels kind of maybe went downhill a little bit, because I feel like the story gets wrapped up really nicely. Everybody's story comes to a nice conclusion.
In both of them. Terminator 1 and 2.
But then if you was if you want to do a sequel, it's well, we can say that the Terminator left something over and did da. So it makes sense. But after this, when you even have all these other Terminators, I feel like they just keep trying to claw back to this old greatness that's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because the story's wrapped up. We don't need to keep coming back to this.
We really don't.
Even with Dark Fate, although it's James Cameron's producing it and it's might be their best effort, it still falls extremely short of these two movies.
Yeah. Well, what I was to say about Sarah Connor is that she's a really tragic character because she knows what the future is, and she's tormented by these visions, right, of the nuclear holocaust and the imagery that they created for those scenes. You can tell, right, where there ceased to be people. You can tell when they swapped out models, but the visual imagery of just what happens and the results are really impactful in the story. God,
when she's up against the fence and everything.
Yeah, man. When she's screaming and then her flesh is ripped off of her bones. And
that's why she also leaves John and the 800 behind when she wants to go and
kill Dyson.
Yeah, kill Dyson and everything. She just wants to go and handle it for herself because she knows what the impending future could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's also tragic in that because she knows what happens, she's almost like detached from other human beings because she says that during one of her sessions with her therapist, who was a fucking prick. She's like, "You're dead. Everyone's dead. You're all fucking dead." And so, like, I think that because of what she knows is happening and nobody believes her, she's tormented by these visions. But I think that kind of robs her of her ability to relate to other human beings. Oh, yeah. And it's interesting to see on the other side, right, the relationship with the T1000 and John. He helps humanize him. He forms a connection with him that pays off for me in one of the it's a sentimental way, but it fucking lands still to this day at the very end of this movie.
Oh yeah,
like I think it incorporates some of like that element of like Elliot and E.T. with these two characters, and it's such a worthwhile part of the story. I fucking loved it.
Well, that's why we mentioned this earlier, like kind of off mic when we talk about not necessarily like slow moments, but like moments when like you're kind of like just showing character development and you're showing like their relationship building when you're showing them kind of like doing the high fives and stuff. And like you kind of just show it like you're seeing Sarah's narrating, but then when they show them, they're obviously like bonding and stuff. And even when they're in the car and he talks about when he's like affirmative. It's like, you can't talk like that, man. Like, so you see how like their relationship is built. Yeah. And like, even like when he's like, put one leg up, put one leg down. Like you're seeing their relationship develop over the movie. Yeah. And so because it's like, you have to show that development. You have to show that connection. You got to show that they actually start caring about each other, because we're going to drop the hammer on you at the end when we show you that they're going to have some sort of departure. Not going to show you how they depart, whether it's a friendly depart or a death or whatever, but they will depart and it will be sad. Yeah. And it's still sad to this day. Yeah, dude, when that score hits and the thumb comes up, and it's good acting too. Like Edward Furlong does really well. Like I always ran a harsh critic on, well, like it's not bad. He's not too bad. Like when he has to scream and everything, like, come on, we gotta go. It's like, bro, take it down a notch. Yeah. But at least in that moment at the end, when like he's doing the thumbs up, he's not overacting. He's just letting the emotions kind of hit him a bit. But the score helps out a lot too. And like the subtle acting with Arnold, dude, that's arguably the best scene of the movie. And this movie has like
so many great scenes.
Like two iconic, at least, chase scenes with the T1000. And then you got Arnold with that big fucking gun and the helicopter and everything. Like, and the emotional scene is arguably the best, most impactful scene of them all.
Yeah, I mean, dude, first of all, I think something that I think about now, rewatching this movie, is when you think about the first Terminator, when he encounters people in his pursuit of Sarah, he shoot first, ask questions later.
Oh yeah.
He's extremely, like, he meets human beings more often than not with violence in any and every encounter. Whereas with the T1000, he seemed more capable socially in the way that he was interacting with, for example, John's foster parents. Yeah. When he's interacting with him, he said, "Oh, he's a good-looking boy." He said, and he's like, Are you his legal guardians? You know, he's like, he seems and sounds human, right? So I think, and he doesn't also react with violence initially. That's not his initial response, right? When he has John in his sights, then he is. Then he's but in. He often, like, he seems to be operating in a way that'll bring less attention onto him.
I think maybe it's just because they've learned their
better
lesson.
Model.
Yeah, better model. They learned their lesson from the 800 and kind of like what he did on the mission. And so now when they send the 1000, he's obviously more enhanced. His capabilities are higher. So the way he's going to find John, I think he's just probably
he blends in more.
Yeah, he's trying to learn from like his previous experience, but not his previous experience, but like from like the mission or like wherever they uploaded into his database and everything. They don't mention anything like that, but that's just like a pretty good observation. I never really thought about that, but that is a good observation though.
And you know, the sequence where we get to the mall, we've met John is, we get a sense of where his relationship is with Sarah. I mean, obviously she's incarcerated, and he thinks his mom everything she taught him was just bullshit. That she's a crazy person. And he steals the money from the ATM, so we know he's got a criminal background as well. That's why he's in the police system. That's why the T1000 was able to find him.
I know, it made it so easy.
Yeah. When we get to the mall, though, and he is caught between the T800 and the T1000, dude, that sequence is so fun. The visuals of those bullets like blossoming like petals in the T1000. That one dude was an idiot. He turns around and right in the middle, he's like, "What's happening?" And gets a riddle with bullets. I was like, "You idiot! Why would you stand up? Like, hit the ground, you dumbass."
But dude, like that's when it leads to obviously the first iconic chase scene is when he's fucking on that bike, chasing his ass through the parking lot, and he gets into the truck and everything. Dude, the one thing I did like. Before they started remastering it and everything, is when Arnold is coming off the bike and he's coming off that fucking ramp. You used to be able to see that scene, and it was clearly not Arnold in that scene. Yeah. They've remastered now to like make it more look like Arnold. But I remember watching it when I was younger, to being like, that is not him. When I was even a kid, just being like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But that's obviously the first iconic chase scene is when he's chasing him on that damn bike, though.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, and also the way, like, the editing, because he was attached to a crane to help with that stunt where Arnold jumps over the semi and picks up John off of the bike. Yeah. Like, he was attached to a crane when they did that. But, yeah, man, that sequence is great. It's very suspenseful.
Dude, and then like you mentioned, like we see the 1000 had his powers, kind of like how he gets more. We just see how he's more capable as the movie goes on. And once he comes out of that crash, that's when he sees like, okay, well, obviously he can survive crashes and burns like that. He's just walking A-okay. But then once it leads to even like the second scene or the second chase of like when they're breaking out Sarah from the hospital, and he's chasing them, and he starts forming the shit with his arms, and he starts doing all that crazy shit. Dude, you just start gradually seeing that like, oh my God, this dude is, although he's not as big as Arnold from the first movie, he's obviously a lot more capable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and one of the was this not the first kill? Maybe it's the second kill, but after John and the 800 escape, he learns what the Terminator's mission is, and he's also realizing that his mom was lying and that they need to go save her. But he learns, though, that he was sent back in time by John to protect John.
You did.
Yeah, and when we call from there, he calls the foster family to warn them. Yeah. And that's where you get the reveal that the kill when the T1000 kills the dad with a knife, that scene when we actually get the reveal of it, that shit was
in the finger too.
Fucking good.
Dude, well no, I'm thinking of a different
later.
death. Yeah. But
with
like
Sarah.
because obviously the 800 can mimic voices, but now you're seeing the 1000 can actually can copy itself or copy whoever it wants once it comes in contact with you, which it leads to the fucking, even like the visuals of the kill when he kills a security guard, and he pretty much like clones him, copies him, however you want to look at it, but he comes through the floor, and just the editing good. And just the just visually how that looks from like the floor when he morphs into himself still looks perfect, man.
Oh dude, it looks I mean, when you see the pattern, first of all, we see the footprint right on top of the 1000, and then we see it rise, the pattern of the floor, and we're like, oh my God, it still looks great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nothing about that scene. I mean, obviously you can tell like the fake. Yeah. Right. But like,
there's little things, but
yeah,
it's like,
but it still looks so good.
Dude, man, that's such a like probably not my favorite kill, but it's up there, man. And isn't that what, like when he does like the finger and like he pokes him in like the fucking eye
right
or something?
The eye, dude.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. I mean, so that whole scene is pretty good. But you know, something that I love about this scene, right, is we see how we see how capable Sarah Connor is, but this whole chase scene that happens after she escapes from her room, and the T1000 and John, they're in the building, as is John and the Terminator are in the building now, the facility, just like the T1000, and they're both on a race to get to her. Mm-hmm. And the Terminator knows that is the highest probability of is capturing John, is to copy her.
Yeah.
And the original's deleted.
Exactly.
So he's on this, he's also kind of working with the Terminator to get him to understand that you can't kill people. He's trying to help him understand the value of life. Mm-hmm. And when he shoots the security guard as they're entering in the facility, he's like, he'll live.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, man. He's learning, but it's still such like...
It's very literal.
Yeah. Dude, that's just fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah. The whole sequence in that facility when the T800, the 1000 crosses through the bars.
Yeah. And that's another like a visual that's like, I try to look at it with like a critical eye and just trying to like be nitpick, but it's like, dude, it looks so good. And it's like, how did a movie come out in 1991 still do something that like some movies nowadays can't perfect?
They're not even. It's like, these movies aren't even close.
It's like, is it because like, is it a time thing? Is it a money thing? Or is it just like skills? Like, there's people just, maybe some people just don't have the skills. Because obviously you look at some stuff like a Thanos, it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. But then you can look at some other stuff and you're like, you could have spent some more time, like the Flash, like in the baby scene. Like what the, like, you can't tell me that's like something you were going for. Well, dude, you're going for bad.
Even more recent examples. I know we reviewed Aliens most recently, but Alien Romulus did a great job of reproducing some of that magic visually from the earlier movies. Yeah, and it looks phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
I think maybe it's just the people. Some people have the skills. Some people don't. Some people I can think it comes with anything. With
some of those are generational too. I think those motherfuckers knew what they were doing.
Exactly. Those were certain skills that
they don't today, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a different kind of.
And maybe some people just don't want to like share some of their skills because they're like, man, I'm having this certain issue with certain such. Maybe there's somebody that's like, yeah, man, you got to do boom, 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 boom to get that around, and they don't want to fucking share that because it's like, no, because I want to get hired for the job. Like, who really knows like why certain things turn out the way they do? But in this case, it turned out amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean the sequence when he's attacking them in the elevator, and this is another really great chase scene in this movie when they get in the cop car and are fleeing, and the T1000 like jumps and catches onto the back of the car, and that whole sequence. It's just another really great moment in this movie. So many great action sequences though.
Just like when they go to get, I mean, they're the only kind of, I would say, lull, really. It's not really a lull because they have to go and get the ammo, is where they go get the ammo from that dude. And that's when you start seeing the relationship between Arnold and John. And Sarah starts having like her visions and stuff. Yeah. But then that's when she goes and gets Dyson, and you have that sequence. And then after that, they realize Dyson realized what's going on, and so now she
goes there to assassinate him. I mean,
just to kill his ass. Yeah. But then she can't do it. She starts having like a bit of a conscience. But then Dyson realizes what's going on, and so that's when they want to break into Cyberdyne, and they start wanting to destroy the chip and everything. And then that's when it leads to a whole other issue. That's when Arnold brings out the big gun and starts destroying all those fucking cops and shit. It's like, bro, like this movie's littered with just iconic action sequences left and right.
Man, I thought that one of the moments that I agree with you though. I think that the sequence when they are basically at her getting the ammunition, kind of preparing for their next move, that is a lull in action.
Yeah.
But not a lull in the story because of those things that you mentioned. But even like as they're heading out, right? There's an element of hope to this movie, right? That's captured in the lines "No fate but what we make," which is something that John made Reese remember when he sent him back in time to protect Sarah in the first movie.
Yeah.
So there's like that element of hope, but then there's this also a bit of like cynicism in this movie in the sense that and it's captured in that scene where they're at a car stop or gas station, and the Terminator's working on the car, and these two kids are fighting back and forth with like toy guns, and they look real as fuck. But they're fighting with these guns, and John says to the Terminator, "We're not going to make it, are we?" And the Terminator responds, "It's in your nature to destroy yourselves." So like, I thought that was a really interesting line, because when I think about like, it felt like I said, there's like an element, there's like a thread of like cynicism baked into this movie in that line, which I think really was kind of hit. But there also is that hopefulness captured in "No fate in what we make," right?
Yeah, because I take that as it's like, obviously it's in our nature to destroy ourselves, where it's like Judgment Day is always going to be here at some point. Yeah. You can delay it, but it's like it's going to come, but it's also like you can change it though. You can't change your nature, but you can't go against your nature sometimes. So it's like it provides you, I think there is some hope that you still can control it in a way, but it's just too great of a task, I suppose, for you to go against your own nature.
Well, you know what's also interesting is like, this is where I get like my head just gets tied in knots thinking about this whole time travel and impacting the future, because if by intervening with Dyson, right, Miles Dyson, and showing him what his research would lead to, wouldn't that, and the fact that he died, so he wasn't able to continue his research, wouldn't that immediately change so much? Like, right? Because I mean, he was literally the lead designer in this work that became like the prototype for his like processor that would give birth to Skynet. So if he dies, doesn't all that change already?
No, because they mentioned that like somebody will follow his work, so that's why they have to go back to the Cyberdyne and
not even a ripple. Maybe this sets them back like 10 years. I don't know.
I know, it's like, I mean, maybe they could have said that, where he's like, well, that does throw the course off a bit for like a few years, or maybe that's just like too much dialogue, where it's just like it's getting like too heavy exposition.
I didn't need them to explain it, I guess. I just was wondering, because you think about a futuristic like sci-fi movie with time travel like Looper, when somebody younger killed himself, that ended the old version. He disappeared immediately, because like if I die at 25, you can't exist. Yeah. And so like there was like more of an immediacy in terms of the impact of those actions on the future. It was like already. Yeah. I don't, you get what I'm saying?
I know, I see what you're saying. I mean, they do mention that like this, somebody else will follow it, but also it's like, maybe that next person is not as smart or not as capable. But also think
some bugs in these.
it is a different. I mean, it's kind of different. I thought of Days of Futures Past.
Oh yeah.
When she has to go back and kill the dude, but then it's like, if they kill him, but then it's different, because that's when they start seeing that mutants are actually a threat, because they saw the murder, and so that just sped up the process,
the persecution.
Yeah. But I mean, in essence, you could just, I suppose, if Dyson is dead, then it kind of stops everything. But I guess that it just leads to, it could also go into one of two directions. It could stop it, or it could be something much worse.
Yeah.
So that's why they're just like, no, we have to just nip everything in the bud now, kill everything or get everything. But once Dyson is dead and Cyberdyne blows up and all that shit, then you're kind of in the clear. But the 1000 is still on your ass,
man, for real. And that scene where, first of all, when they're in the elevator about to exit the building, and the Terminator walks out there, and he's like, I'll be back. He shoots, he's just basically capping all these dudes in the knees. And that whole scene is great. But when they're leaving, the visuals of him, like the bullets, like damaging his flesh exterior, it looked good.
Even like, dude, they do a zoom in like when 1000 stabs him in the chest at the like when you think that's it for him, and like they show him like they zoom in and they show like all the makeup stuff. It all still looks really good, man.
I can't hate.
Dude, I remember being younger, just being like, no. I was like, they're done for, but then he starts coming back. Like, they're toast, man. It's over for you guys. But then he comes back and he has the shotty or that grenade launcher or whatever, bro.
Well,
oh man,
dude, before you even get to that, man, I mean, I think this has got to be one of the most iconic chase scenes ever when the T1000 takes control of the helicopter and he is chasing them in the SWAT truck. Dude, like they actually went under a bridge, and this bridge had like 5 feet margin of error below and above. Like, and the some of these the actual camera work in the scene was like I think the camera crew didn't want to do it because it was so dangerous. And I'd heard in one of these documentaries that Cameron actually shot. He did the camera work for that chase scene.
Damn.
So this motherfucker's committed.
That's the dedication to the shot.
Yo,
it's a crazy shot,
dude. I mean, it looks great. I mean, the fact that also they had think about how well lit it looks on our screen, and then think about how many fucking lights that means they had to use to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and then double that, right, when we get into the actual old refinery that they used. Like, it's the lighting and the again, it really does a nice balance in this last sequence of giving us that kind of cold metallic blue in the chase scene, and then giving us that really warm orange and yellow, which really does match the emotional tone of that scene and the way that it ends.
Yeah,
the visuals of like the color palette shift.
Yeah.
It was very effective for those scenes.
Maybe that's why it hits. Also, like, I mean, it's everything. Like I said, like the acting, the score, like, but also like I didn't think about that. The visuals of like the color choices as well. That's I didn't think about that, but that's also lends to why that scene hits so well, man. Yeah. I mean, the 1000 when he dies, bro, I was thinking, I'm like, bro, this looks almost like in like the exorcism movies, when like the demon like sometimes gets like out of the person, and you start sometimes like visually seeing like all these different types of demons like forming and shit. I was like, this feels very like exorcist like when the 1000 dies, because you see in all like kind of the spirits or whatever that he's possessed, because you see like the mom and like the officer and everything.
Well, dude, even fucking when was it nitroglycerin, or what was it that chemical that froze him?
That might be it.
That whole sequence, the Hasta La Vista Baby, gives us the great that's part of the cultural lexicon now.
Yeah. And he's like, I got one more chip to destroy, and he's like, dude, up here. But I mean, it's like, oh no.
Well, dude, but just like even before that though, like when he shoots the T1000 after he's been frozen, the visuals of that cracking look so great. The puddles forming back. He's like, we have to go, that chase scene. You just saw how outmatched the T800 was, especially in that state.
Oh yeah,
against the T1000.
Even
when he doesn't sustain any injuries.
Even when like it's hand-to-hand combat, like you see him like he kind of just punches through him, and he like his arm like is morphs around him, and he like just the way like they do even like the fighting choreography. It's like you're no match for this dude, and no matter how big you are, this dude just has you at every step. But until the very end, and he caught his ass with a little grenade.
Yeah, man. I mean that scene when you kind of it's like the all is lost moment. She's run out of shotgun shells.
She was doing work.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, out of the cut. Also, the visuals right when he pulls the rod out and his system is rebooting.
Yeah.
The way that they cut back to that, which we saw very early on in the movie, I thought that was a really great touch to that scene. And yeah, man, when he tells him that I mean, you also get this foreshadowing because Sarah says to him, if you can't look human, you're not much good to us. She says something to that effect. If you can't pass as a human, you're no good to us.
Yeah.
And at this point in the movie, it's clear he's not human.
Yeah.
And he can't
self-terminate.
Self-terminate. So he has her lower her down. Bro. When he's like, and it touches back on that moment earlier when he's driving after they save Sarah. Sarah chastises him for coming to try to save her, and John starts crying, and the Terminator's like, "What's wrong? What's the matter with your eyes?"
Yeah.
And that conversation surfaces and throughout that movie, and it comes to a conclusion where he says, I know now why you cry,
and it's something I can never do.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
It's like, oh shit.
No.
He's here for me. He needs me.
Yo, bro.
Shut the fuck up, Elliot.
Yo, this shit right here lands with me the way fucking when I thought Jon Snow died in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I was
man.
like, no.
See, that didn't hit for me because I knew he came back when I originally watched it because I knew of some of the stuff. Like, I was late to the party. Just like the Red Wedding, I already kind of knew about it. But it was still pretty fucked up, man. Real fucked up.
Just like, not my boy.
Want to pivot to scores then,
Yeah,
sir?
man.
I mean, I don't have any negatives, honestly. So.
I don't either. I love the cinematography.
Well, I'll go ahead and start off with the score. It's
it all.
easy to say, man. This is a 5-star classic for me, man. This T2 is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's in my top 10 easily. I watched this movie when I was a young kid. I wanted that bike that John Connor was riding on. I got one that was similar to it. It wasn't a motorized one. I was too young to ride one of those. But I got a bike version of that. It looked just like it. But this movie has endless iconic action scenes as far as the chase scenes. You got an iconic villain. You got Arnold coming back playing in a different type of a protector role. This movie is even though it's a different tone as the first one, it's still a classic, and you're still getting it from James Cameron. He delivers a banger of a horror movie in the first one, giving you an action classic in the second one. This movie is endlessly rewatchable for me personally. And there's too many pros, and I have literally no negatives. The only lull is literally the part when they're showing you emotional stability, because you got to show that emotional connection, because we're gonna fucking hit your ass with that hammer at the end, because old boy's gonna die and your ass is gonna be crying. But with that, it's a 5-star, man. What about you?
Man, this is a 5 for me as well. I love this movie. I love the first movie too, but this is the better movie for me. I think that's a consensus too. I don't know many people that think Terminator 1 is better, but
Which I wouldn't bat an eye.
no,
If
it's
somebody,
not.
If somebody said,
I love the first movie.
Yeah, if somebody said it was the better for them, then I'll be like, cool, because I love that movie as well. You really feel just that tone, that horror tone.
Yeah.
When you turn that on late at night, it's just a different
shit.
feeling. Yeah. Dude, especially when he's digging in his eye, man. Bro, we've reviewed it. Go
Fuck
check
off,
it out.
asshole. But yeah, man, to the things that you said, this movie is well executed. The acting, everybody does their part. The action sequences are memorable. This movie elevated the action genre, but it also, and in doing so, it also pushed the boundaries of CGI, and it still it aged like wine. I still feel like I'm a kid watching this movie, and that to me, that's a rare feeling for me when movies,
Yeah.
make you feel like a kid again. I think Marvel in their last phase especially achieved that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, this movie is just it's really a one of a kind in terms of what its cultural impact. Its impact on the genre and the industry.
And they keep trying to go back to that but it was just leave it alone, man.
That magic is just hard to reproduce, and he did it twice.
Mm-hmm. And also, it doesn't even need to be remade, because it's still perfect. What do you need to redone? How are you gonna make a better T2 if you try to well, let's like do revise it, like a different vision. It's
I
like,
don't
I don't
want
know.
that.
You're going to be
I don't
hard
want that.
pressed to.
No, thank you.
To try to not necessarily reboot it, but maybe even reboot it. Like we're gonna make my own Judgment Day.
Oh, I thought you said remake. I was like, I do not want to remake.
Yeah, not
It's
not necessarily a sequel, but if somebody tried to make their own T2 Judgment Day, where it's like this is my vision of how the second one goes after the first one. You know how like Halloween did.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna be very hard pressed to be a better Judgment Day.
I would think that a mini-series format for the Terminator could be really good, especially in the right hands. Somebody like HBO Max or I don't know. HBO Max came to mind, but I think a series where we're seeing humanity in the midst of the war.
Yeah.
Like literally with the machines and kind of almost like the Days of Future Past, where we are living underground trying to get a foothold in this war.
Maybe
I totally could see a small series with something like that.
Well, maybe the series ends with John sending like himself back, or like with him sending back Kyle Reese or something like that.
Yeah,
like it could be like where like the series ends on that note. But I could easily see something like that.
And I think it could work in a format like that. Just give us 4 to 8 episodes.
I mean, it depends if like a HBO was doing that, or maybe an Amazon Prime. I would have a lot of faith in it.
Yeah.
But if it was like, coming from like Fox or like CBS or some shit.
Bruh. No.
It's just like
Sci-Fi Channel.
just like they're like, like the Equalizer, like that the movies with Denzel. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, we're coming out with the Equalizer TV show starring Queen Latifah. I'm not against Queen Latifah, but I'm like, all right, what network is on? CBS. I'm out. I'm sorry, but I'm out.
No, thank you.
There's not too many series unless it's like a Law and Order or
sitcom,
something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah.
gonna fuck with that.
I'm with you there.
So.
All right, well, that's our episode for this week. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.